He thought New York City would hide his secrets. But secrets leave trails. And in this city, trails always lead somewhere. For 2 years, my husband lived a double life on Wall Street by day, with lies by night, while I believed I was building a marriage. What he didn't know was that I noticed patterns. And when the truth finally surfaced, I didn't explode. I plotted. I pulled his mistress into my world, right under his nose. And that's where the game began. Before I continue with this story, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. If you want more stories like this, tell us in the comment which city you're watching from, and then we'll continue with the story. My name is Rachel Carter. I am a 34-year-old woman, and I run a boutique event design company out of Manhattan. My clients are the kind who want chandeliers shipped in from Paris and flowers that bloom on cue. High pressure, high stakes. My husband, Ethan Carter, 38, was a managing director at a Wall Street investment firm. Sharp suits, endless meetings, and business trips to Chicago, Washington, D.C., and sometimes Miami. I believed in him. We had a brownstone in Brooklyn Heights, a circle of friends who envied us, and the kind of Instagram-worthy Christmas cards people rolled their eyes at. But then, I noticed the cracks. 2 missed calls at 11:43 p.m. from work. A client dinner at Del Frisco's, except that when I called to confirm a catering contact, they had no booking under his name. His smile at text messages. Not the casual "oh, funny meme" smile. The slow one. The one that meant connection. That's when my instincts kicked in. I built my career on noticing details nobody else catches. Event planning is crime scene work without the blood. You spot what's missing before anyone else does. So I waited. I didn't accuse. I collected. And one night, the evidence walked right into my hands. It was at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square, during a product launch. After the event, while cleaning up, I found a slim gray leather planner under a chair. No name. Just dates, times, and appointments scribbled in perfect block letters. One detail stopped me cold: Tuesdays, 6:30 to 8:15 p.m. Ethan. In the back sleeve was a receipt from Lou Bernardine, one of the most expensive restaurants in Midtown. See base. 2 drinks. Tuesday. That's when it clicked. The affair wasn't an accident. It was routine. Ritual. I slipped the planner into my bag. At home, I placed it on my desk like evidence tagged at a crime scene. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Because if Ethan thought he was clever, I was about to prove I was smarter. 2 weeks later, I met her. Her name was Lauren Mitchell, a 29-year-old lady and account manager at a mid-size marketing agency. We crossed paths at a corporate gala I designed at the Cipriani Wall Street Ballroom. She was tall, with sharp cheekbones and a voice like she was always closing a deal. When Ethan showed up to surprise me, his eyes flickered when he saw her. Just for half a second. Most people would have missed it. I didn't. The puzzle pieces locked into place. Lauren was the mistress. I wanted to hate her. I wanted her to be cheap, tacky, and the cliché. But she wasn't. She was good at her job. Polished. Professional. Dangerous in a way only competent people are. And that made my decision easy. I wasn't going to confront Ethan. Not yet. I was going to bring Lauren into my world. I crafted the job posting like bait: executive assistant, must handle high-profile clients, demanding schedules, and impossible deadlines. Then, from a personal email, I sent it directly to Lauren. Hi Lauren, we crossed paths at Cipriani last month. Your vendor coordination was surgical. I'm hiring for a top EA role. Discretion required. Interested? She responded in under an hour. What do you think about Rachel's decision to hire her husband's mistress? At the interview, she was everything I expected. Smart, composed, ambitious. She wanted out of her agency. She wanted growth. I offered her the job. Salary, top tier. Benefits, solid. She accepted. And just like that, Ethan's mistress became my assistant. The first week was almost cinematic. She sat outside my office, answering calls, managing my calendar, and charming clients. Ethan walked in with flowers one Friday, saw her, and froze for a split second before putting on that Wall Street charm. "Hi, I'm Ethan," he said, extending his hand. "Nice to meet you," Lauren replied, smooth as glass. Neither of them flinched. But their eyes told the story. I almost smiled. The trap was set. The second week, I gave Lauren a big test, the Park Avenue Foundation Gala. If she could run logistics there, she could run anything. She nailed it. The board chairman actually emailed me, "Your assistant is a weapon." Meanwhile, Ethan grew jumpy. He surprised me at the office more often, eyes darting toward Lauren's desk. At night, he was suddenly tender. Extra kisses. Random takeout dinners. Classic guilt tactics. So I sharpened the knife. I scheduled a client dinner at Lou Bernardine. Same time, same table number his planner had listed for months. I made sure the invite was visible on my office calendar, where he could accidentally see it. That Tuesday, I arrived at 8:15. At 8:27, Ethan walked in alone. At 8:29, Lauren entered in a black dress. They didn't see me. But I saw them. I raised my water glass like a silent toast, then walked right past them to my reserved table. Their faces drained of color. They didn't approach me. Of course, they wouldn't dare. Guilt has rules. The next morning, Lauren brought me coffee. She set it on my desk without a word. Her hand lingered for a second too long. Later, she knocked on my office door. "Rachel," she said softly, "I want to be transparent. I was at Lou Bernardine last night. With someone I shouldn't have been with. It's over." Her voice didn't shake. She admitted she'd been lied to, that Ethan told her he was separated. I stared at her, my anger knotted with reluctant respect. She wasn't crumbling. She was standing. "You'll keep this job," I said finally. "But from here on, boundaries. Clear as glass." She nodded, eyes steady. "Yes." That night, Ethan came home with another bouquet. Bigger one this time. He tried to kiss me. I stepped back. "Ethan," I said, "who taught you to lie so gently? Was it me? Did I make it easy?" He froze, caught. For the first time, he knew I wasn't guessing anymore. The Park Avenue Gala arrived. Guests in tuxedos, cameras flashing, Manhattan glittering like diamonds on loan. Halfway through, I slipped into the corridor near the service elevators. Ethan was there. Phone to his ear, whispering. "Last night was messy. She knows something. Just lay low." Then Lauren turned the corner. Their eyes met. "Not here," she snapped. "Not at her event." That's when they both realized I was standing there. Watching. Listening. Ethan's face collapsed. Lauren didn't flinch. "I told him it's over," she said to me, steady. "I didn't know everything." That's not an excuse. But I'm done. The silence was louder than the orchestra playing inside. "Finally," I said, "after this gala, we're going home. We'll sit at the table. And you, Ethan, will answer my questions. Every single one." Then I turned and walked back into the ballroom, cameras flashing, applause rising. On the outside, I was the perfect host. On the inside, I was fire. At midnight, we sat in our Brooklyn brownstone kitchen. Flowers on the counter, petals already browning. "How many?" I asked. His jaw tightened. "Just one, Lauren." "How many, Ethan?" I pressed. Silence. Then, two. One was Lauren. The other, a marketing manager from a DC conference. "Meaningless," he muttered. I felt the kind of silence that tastes like metal. "You'll sign this," I said, pulling out a post-nuptial agreement my lawyer drafted. Asset protection. Custody clauses. Business separation. My insurance policy. His hand shook as he signed. That night, he slept fitfully. I didn't sleep at all. At 2:11 a.m., my phone buzzed. An email from Lauren. Park Avenue Gala final report attached. I booked HR tomorrow to formalize boundaries. Thank you for letting me stay. I stared at the words until dawn. 3 days later, a package arrived at my office. No return address. Inside was a gray leather planner, identical to the one I found months ago. But this one had a name embossed in gold. Rachel Carter. Underneath was a note in block letters, for the woman who sees. I asked Ethan. He swore it wasn't him. I asked Lauren. She denied it. My friend Danielle swore she didn't send it. So who did? At 6:30 p.m., my receptionist buzzed my line. Rachel, there's a woman here to see you. No appointment. Says it's urgent. Her name? I asked. She says you don't know her, the receptionist replied, voice uneasy. But she knows your husband. I felt the room tilt. Send her in, I said, my voice flat as glass. The door opened. A stranger walked in. She smiled a smile I didn't recognize, yet it felt like déjà vu. And then she said, "You don't know me. But your husband ruined my life, too." The woman standing in my office wore a navy trench coat and carried herself like someone who hadn't slept in days. Her eyes were sharp and restless. "My name is Sarah Miller," she said, sliding into the chair opposite me. "And your husband, he's not who you think he is." I stayed still, hands folded, my heart pounding in my throat. Sarah reached into her bag and placed a stack of documents on my desk. Bank statements. Wire transfers. Flight itineraries. All tied to Ethan Carter. "I met him 2 years ago," she said. "He wasn't Ethan Carter. He was Daniel Cross, a venture investor from Boston. We were engaged for 6 months. Until he vanished. With my money." Her voice cracked. $85,000. My savings. Gone. The room shrank around me. I'd prepared for mistresses, not aliases. "Why come to me?" I asked. "Because you're the wife," Sarah said, her eyes drilling into mine. "The legal anchor. The one he can't run from. And because if you're smart enough to hire her," she flicked her eyes toward Lauren's desk outside, "you're smart enough to know you're not the only one he's fooled." That night, I didn't tell Ethan about Sarah. Instead, I invited her and Lauren to my apartment the next evening. Yes, both women. The wife. The mistress. The fiancé who never was. 3 women. 1 man's lies. We sat at my Brooklyn Heights dining table, the same table where Ethan once kissed my hands over morning coffee. Sarah showed us proof. Wire transfers Ethan had her send to investment accounts. Photos of them together in D.C., Boston, and New Jersey. Messages where he promised her marriage, kids, and a home. Lauren's face went pale. "He told me he was separated," she whispered. "That his wife was cold. That he was waiting for the right time." Her eyes flicked to me. "Rachel, I didn't know." For the first time, I believed her. And then, in a move that surprised even me, I said, "Fine. Then let's stop being his victims. Let's become his reckoning." We became detectives. 3 women in New York City, piecing together the truth. Sarah dug through his financials. Offshore accounts. An LLC shell in Delaware. A fake consulting company in Jersey. Lauren tapped her marketing agency contacts, pulling event guest lists and confirming Ethan had used galas not for networking, but for recruiting women. I used my connections in the events industry to verify his business trips. Most were lies. Hotels in Chicago are booked under different names. Piece by piece, Ethan Carter unraveled into something uglier. Not just an unfaithful husband. Not just a liar. But a con man. The worst part? The money wasn't just Sarah's. He'd quietly siphoned $250,000 from our joint account, masked as investment deals. My pulse hammered in my ears. All those nights I thought he was working late, he was building a second life. We needed proof strong enough to corner him. To make him confess. Lauren suggested bait. He trusts me, she said bitterly. I'll set a meeting. Pretend I want back in. You record it. The plan was risky, but it was the only way. We chose a quiet lounge in Midtown, the kind where finance bros close deals and secrets echo off mahogany walls. Lauren arranged to catch up with Ethan. Sarah and I sat 2 tables away, phones recording. He arrived, all Wall Street arrogance and cologne. When Lauren mentioned new money, she could funnel his way, his eyes lit up. You're still the smartest woman I know, he whispered, reaching for her hand. Lauren leaned in, steel in her voice. What about Sarah? What about Rachel? Ethan froze. And then, for the first time, I saw the mask slip. She wasn't supposed to meet you, he hissed. Neither of you. I kept everything separate. Everything. Separate. Words that shattered the room like glass. That night, I confronted him at home. I placed the recorder on the dining table. Pressed play. Let his voice indict him. He slumped into the chair, color draining from his face. You don't understand, he said weakly. I was protecting you. Protecting me? I snapped. By cheating? By stealing? By making me live in a marriage built on fraud? He tried to spin it. Rachel, we can fix this. I'll return the money. I'll end everything. Just you and me. But he didn't understand. I wasn't asking. I was building his cage. With Sarah's documents, Lauren's testimony, and my recording, we had enough to take Ethan down. But here's the thing, New York protects its powerful men. A clean suit can buy silence. So I decided, if the law wouldn't punish him, the world would. I leaked everything, financial records, recordings, and photographs, to an investigative journalist I trusted. A week later, the New York Times ran a piece. Wall Street exec exposed, double lives, multiple women, missing millions. It exploded. His firm cut him loose. Clients vanished. Friends evaporated. Ethan Carter went from Wall Street shark to citywide scandal overnight. The night the article dropped, he came home, wild-eyed, cornered. You ruined me, he spat, shaking. You think they'll cheer you for this? You'll be dragged down too. I stood my ground. You ruined yourself, Ethan. All I did was shine the light. He stared at me like a man realizing the cell door was closing. Then he stormed out. I haven't seen him since. Sarah got partial restitution through the court. Lauren rebuilt her life, finally free. And me? I rebuilt mine, too. But not as his wife. As Rachel Carter, the woman who learned that sometimes revenge isn't rage. It's exposure. Because in New York, secrets don't stay buried. Not when 3 women decide to dig. Last week, I received another package. No return address. Inside, another gray planner. This one was stamped not with my name, but with a new one. Sarah. Lauren. Rachel. And inside, a single line, this isn't over. Justice feels sweet. But in this city, revenge is never clean. And when your past comes knocking, sometimes it doesn't want an apology, it wants blood. If you want to know what happened to Ethan Carter, comment below for part 2.